The red dwarf star Proxima Centauri hung low in the sky, casting a dim crimson glow over the terraformed plains of Nova Terra. Dr. Elara Chen stood at the edge of the colony's protective dome, her eyes fixed on the horizon where the alien landscape stretched endlessly. For 200 years, humanity had called this distant world home, isolated from the rest of the universe, unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding beyond their reach. Elara's communication device chirped, breaking the contemplative silence. "Dr. Chen, we found something. You need to see this." The voice of her assistant, Marcus, crackled with barely contained excitement. "On my way," she replied, her heart rate quickening as she rushed towards the excavation site. The colony on Nova Terra had been established as humanity's first interstellar outpost, a testament to human perseverance and ingenuity. But as the years turned into decades and then centuries, no word came from Earth. The colonists were left to forge their own path, adapting to the harsh alien environment and building a society from scratch. Elara arrived at the dig site, her breath fogging in the chilly air. Marcus stood at the edge of the deep pit, his eyes wide with wonder. "Down there," he pointed, his hand trembling slightly. As Elara peered into the excavation, her scientific mind struggled to process what she saw. Buried beneath millennia of sediment lay the unmistakable outline of a structure, sleek, metallic, and decidedly not of human origin. "How old?" Elara managed to ask, her voice barely above a whisper. Marcus shook his head. "Initial scans suggest it predates human civilization by at least 1,000,000 years. This changes everything, Elara. We're not alone. We've never been alone." Over the next few weeks, the entire colony buzzed with activity. Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock to unearth the alien structure. As layer after layer was carefully removed, the true magnitude of the discovery became apparent. It wasn't just a building. It was a vast complex stretching for kilometers underground. Elara stood in what appeared to be a central chamber, surrounded by consoles covered in intricate, swirling patterns. "It's a language," she murmured, running her fingers over the alien script. "Or maybe a code." Suddenly, the chamber hummed to life. Lights flickered on, casting an eerie blue glow throughout the space. Elara stumbled back, her heart pounding in her chest. A holographic display materialized in the center of the room, showing a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light blinked into existence, each representing a star system. And there, at the very edge of the map, a single red dot pulsed steadily, Proxima Centauri. "It's a communication hub," Elara breathed, her mind racing with the implications. "We've just activated a galactic switchboard." Before anyone could respond, a voice echoed through the chamber, not in any human language, but somehow perfectly understandable. "Greetings, children of Earth. We have awaited your awakening." The next few hours were a blur of activity. The voice belonged to an entity calling itself the Emissary, a representative of the Galactic Confederation, a union of advanced civilizations spanning the Milky Way. The emissary explained that Earth had been under observation for millennia, waiting for humanity to reach a level of technological advancement that would allow for first contact. "But we lost contact with Earth," Elara explained, her voice heavy with the weight of 2 centuries of isolation. The emissary's holographic form flickered, an expression akin to sadness crossing its alien features. "We are aware. Earth faced great challenges in the years following your departure. But take heart, your homeworld endures, that have changed. In activating this beacon, you have opened the door for reunion." As news of the contact spread throughout the colony, reactions ranged from jubilation to fear. Governor Alessandra Reyes called an emergency council meeting to determine their next course of action. "We have a choice to make," Governor Reyes addressed the assembled leaders. "Do we step onto the galactic stage, or do we remain in isolation?" Debates raged for days. Some argued for caution, fearing the intentions of advanced alien civilizations. Others saw it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Ilara stood before the council, her voice steady despite her nerves. For 200 years, we've thrived on Novaterra, proving that humanity can adapt and flourish in the harshest conditions. But we've also been alone, cut off from our heritage and the wider universe. This is our chance to reconnect, to learn, and to grow. We've always looked to the stars. Now the stars are looking back. I say we meet their gaze. Her words resonated with many, and after much deliberation, a decision was reached. Novaterra would accept the Galactic Confederation's invitation to join interstellar society. The day of first official contact arrived with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. A sleek, silver ship descended from the sky, landing gracefully outside the colony's dome. As the ship's doors opened, revealing beings of incredible diversity, some humanoid, others defying easy description, Ilara felt a profound sense of humility and wonder. The emissary stepped forward, its iridescent skin shimmering in the alien sunlight. Welcome, people of Novaterra, to the greater galactic community. Your journey has only just begun. As humans and aliens mingled, sharing knowledge and culture, Ilara couldn't help but feel that this was a pivotal moment in human history. They had taken their first steps into a larger world, one filled with wonders beyond imagination and challenges that would test the very limits of human ingenuity and spirit. But even as hope and excitement filled the air, a shadow loomed on the horizon. For in joining the Galactic Confederation, humanity had also inherited its conflicts. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the warlike Zorn Empire watched and waited, seeing in this fledgling species a potential threat to be eliminated or an opportunity to be exploited. The awakening of humanity had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the cosmic drama that would reshape the galaxy forever. The Novaterran night sky blazed with unfamiliar constellations, a testament to humanity's new place in the cosmos. Dr. Ilara Chen stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Galactic Embassy, marveling at the changes that had swept through the colony in the months since first contact. Sleek alien ships now docked regularly at the spaceport, bringing with them technology and knowledge that pushed the boundaries of human understanding. But with progress came challenges that tested the resilience of the human spirit. Dr. Chen, your presence is requested in the central laboratory, a voice chimed through her comm device. Ilara sighed, knowing that another long night of work lay ahead. In the lab, a team of human scientists huddled around a holographic display, their faces etched with frustration. Beside them stood Zolthrak, a Centaurian scientist whose six-limbed form still caused double takes among the human population. "What's the status?" Ilara asked, approaching the group. Marcus, her longtime assistant, ran a hand through his disheveled hair. "We're still having trouble interfacing our neural networks with the Confederation's quantum processors. It's like trying to connect a steam engine to a starship." Zolfrak's multifaceted eyes blinked in what Ilara had learned was an expression of sympathy. "Your species' technology is uniquely structured. It presents interesting challenges." Ilara nodded, understanding the unspoken implication. Human technology, while advanced by Earth standards, was primitive compared to that of the Galactic Confederation. The learning curve was steep, and time was not on their side. Reports from the fringes of Confederation space spoke of increased Zorn Empire activity. The militant species, known for their aggressive expansion and disdain for lesser races, had taken notice of humanity's emergence on the galactic stage. As if summoned by her thoughts, alarms blared throughout the complex. Governor Reyes's voice crackled over the emergency broadcast system. "Attention all personnel. We have received word of a Zorn scouting party entering the system. This is not a drill. Proceed to your designated stations." Chaos erupted as people rushed to their posts. Ilara sprinted to the command center, her mind racing with possibilities. They had known this day might come, but hoping and preparing were two very different things. In the command center, holographic displays showed the approaching Zorn vessels, sleek, predatory shapes that seemed to devour the light around them. "They're not responding to hails," reported the communications officer, her voice tense. Governor Reyes stood at the center of the room, her face a mask of determination. "Activate the defense grid and get me the Confederation embassy." As the colony's fledgling defenses powered up, a mix of human ingenuity and gifted alien technology, Ilara couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. They were outgunned and outmatched. The Zorn ships entered weapons range, their intent clear. But just as the first salvos were about to be fired, a blinding flash of light filled the sky. A massive Confederation battlecruiser dropped out of hyperspace, positioning itself between Nova Terra and the Zorn fleet. "This is Admiral Kolarin of the Galactic Confederation," a new voice boomed over the comms. "Zorn vessels, you are in violation of Confederation space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, reality itself seemed to buckle. A wave of energy, visible only as a distortion in space-time, radiated outward from the Prometheus. It passed through ships and planets alike, unimpeded by matter or energy shields. As the wave touched the Zorn ships, something incredible happened. Their weapons fell silent, their engines sputtered and died. Across the battlefield, the mighty Zorn Armada hung lifeless in space. What did you do?" Admiral Kolarin's voice was filled with awe and a touch of fear. Ilara watched the screens, hardly daring to believe it had worked. "We created a quantum resonance field tuned specifically to Zorn technology. It's shut down every system on their ships. They're helpless." The implications were staggering. In a single moment, without firing a shot, humanity had ended a war that had raged across the galaxy. The Zorn Empire, which had threatened to extinguish countless civilizations, had been brought to its knees by the very species it had once dismissed as primitive. In the days that followed, as the Confederation moved to secure Zorn space and negotiate terms of surrender, Ilara found herself grappling with the enormity of what they had accomplished. Humanity, in less than a generation, had gone from an isolated colony to a major player on the galactic stage. But with great power came great responsibility. As she stood before the Galactic Council, accepting accolades on behalf of her species, Ilara knew that the real work was just beginning. "We stand at a crossroads," she addressed the assembled representatives. "We have the power to reshape the galaxy, to end conflicts before they begin. But we must use this power wisely, lest we become that which we sought to defeat." The council chambers erupted in debate. Some called for the complete dismantling of the Zorn Empire, others for a more measured approach. Through it all, humanity's voice carried a unique weight, the perspective of a species that had faced extinction and emerged stronger for it. As the discussions continued, Ilara found a quiet moment to return to Nova Terra. Standing once again at the edge of the colony's dome, she looked up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but a field of endless possibility. Marcus joined her, his face etched with a mix of pride and concern. "So, what happens now?" he asked. Ilara smiled, her mind already racing with new ideas, new challenges to overcome. Now we fulfill the promise of our species. We explore, we learn, we grow. And maybe, just maybe, we help build a galaxy where the kind of conflict we just lived through becomes nothing more than a distant memory. As a new day dawned on Nova Terra, bathing the colony in the light of Proxima Centauri, Ilara felt a sense of hope and purpose that transcended the boundaries of worlds and species. Humanity had awakened to its true potential, and the universe would never be the same. The galactic awakening was complete, but the journey, for humanity, and for the countless civilizations that called the Milky Way home, was only just beginning. The vast emptiness of space erupted in a dazzling display of destruction as Zorn and Confederation ships clashed in the Orion Arm. Dr. Ilara Chen watched from the bridge of the CSS Prometheus, humanity's first true warship, as the battle raged around them. The vessel, a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology, moved with a grace that belied its immense firepower. Multiple Zorn cruisers on approach, Vector 227, called out the tactical officer, her voice steady despite the chaos. Captain Jared Hawkins, a veteran of Earth's long-forgotten wars, nodded grimly. Prepare the phase cannons. Let's show them what humanity can do. The Prometheus surged forward, its revolutionary propulsion system allowing it to dance between enemy salvos. Energy beams lanced out, powered by the quantum processors that Alara and her team had developed. Where once humanity had been outmatched, now they stood as equals in the cosmic theater of war. But even as the ship claimed victory after victory, Alara knew that individual battles wouldn't win the war. The Zorn Empire's resources seemed endless, their determination to exterminate or subjugate all lesser species unwavering. In a rare moment of quiet, Alara retreated to her lab aboard the Prometheus. Holograms flickered around her, displaying the fruits of years of desperate research. At the center stood a pulsing orb of energy, the key to their salvation or their doom. Project Nexus is ready for final testing, she said into her comm device. Inform the Confederation Council. It's time. The response was immediate. Understood, Dr. Chen. The Council is convening as we speak. May the stars guide us. Project Nexus was the culmination of everything humanity had learned since joining the Galactic community. It combined the intuitive leaps of human cognition with the vast computational power of alien quantum systems, all focused on a single reality-bending goal: the creation of a weapon capable of ending the war in a single stroke. As the Prometheus made its way to the rendezvous point, reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The Zorn were pushing harder than ever, sensing perhaps that their window of opportunity was closing. Entire star systems fell silent, their populations evacuated or worse. The ship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of an unremarkable star system, deep in neutral space. Here, far from prying eyes, the combined fleets of the Confederation had gathered for what they hoped would be the final battle. Admiral Coloran's massive flagship hung at the center of the Almeida, its crystalline structure gleaming in the light of an alien sun. As Alara was shuttled aboard, she couldn't help but feel the weight of expectation pressing down on her. In the war room, representatives from 100 species debated strategy. The atmosphere was tense, filled with the knowledge that everything hinged on what was about to unfold. Dr. Chen, Admiral Coloran's resonant voice cut through the chatter. The fate of the galaxy rests in your hands. Are you certain this weapon of yours will work? Alara took a deep breath, steeling herself. As certain as I can be, Admiral. The principles are sound, at the scale. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before. The alien admiral's multifaceted eyes seemed to peer into her soul. Then we must have faith. The Zorn fleet approaches, and with it, our moment of truth. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. The Zorn had arrived in force, that armada dwarfing even the combined might of the Confederation. All ships, battle stations. Admiral Coloran's voice boomed across the comms. Protect the Prometheus at all costs. Dr. Chen, you have one shot. Make it count. Alara raced back to her ship, her heart pounding in her chest. As she entered the lab, she was greeted by the sight of her team, human and alien alike, working in perfect harmony to bring Project Nexus online. Power levels stable, reported Marcus, his fingers flying over the controls. Quantum entanglement matrix aligned. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Outside, the battle raged with unimaginable fury. The void of space was filled with the flash of energy weapons and the silent explosions of dying ships. The Prometheus shuddered under repeated impacts, its shields straining against the onslaught. Now or never, Captain Hawkins' voice crackled over the intercom. We can't hold them off much longer. Alara took one last look at her team, seeing in their eyes the same mix of fear and determination that she felt. With a nod, she placed her hand on the activation panel. Initiating Project Nexus, she said, her voice barely a whisper. For a tense moment, it seemed as if the Zorn would press their attack. But faced with the overwhelming firepower of the Confederation ship, they turned and retreated into the depths of space. As the immediate danger passed, a sobering reality settled over the colony. They had been saved, but only by the intervention of their more powerful allies. If they were to survive in this new galactic order, they needed to advance, and quickly. In the days that followed, Ilara and her team redoubled their efforts to bridge the technological gap. It was during one of their marathon research sessions that a breakthrough occurred, one that would change the course of human history. Zulfrak had been monitoring Ilara's brainwaves as she interfaced with a Confederation computer system. Suddenly, the alien scientist let out a sound of surprise. "Impossible," he muttered, his appendages flying over the controls. "What is it?" Ilara asked, removing the neural interface. "Your cognitive patterns," Zulfrak explained, excitement evident in his voice. "They're adapting to the quantum architecture in ways we've never seen before. It's as if your mind is naturally attuned to higher dimensional computing." Further tests confirmed Zulfrak's observations. While human technology lagged behind, the human mind possessed a unique plasticity that allowed for intuitive understanding of complex systems. It was a trait born from millennia of evolution on a chaotic, ever-changing world, the ability to see patterns in the seemingly random, to make creative leaps that defied logic. News of the discovery spread quickly through the Confederation. Suddenly, humans were in high demand, sought after for their unique cognitive abilities. Research teams across the galaxy clamored for human participants, eager to unlock the secrets of the human mind. But with recognition came danger. The Zorn Empire, ever watchful, saw in humanity a potential threat to their dominance. If humans could so quickly adapt to advanced technologies, what other surprises might they hold? Ilara found herself at the center of a diplomatic and scientific storm. As she worked to develop new hybrid technologies that merged human intuition with alien computational power, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were in a race against time. Her fears were realized when reports came in of Zorn fleets massing at the borders of Confederation space. The Empire had decided that humanity was too dangerous to be allowed to develop further. In a bold move, the Zorn launched simultaneous attacks on multiple Confederation worlds, catching the peaceful alliance off guard. The galaxy erupted into all-out war. On Novaterra, frantic preparations were made. The colony, once focused on scientific discovery, now turned its efforts towards defense and military technology. Human creativity, combined with Confederation resources, led to innovations that surprised both allies and enemies alike. Ilara stood in the newly christened War Room, surrounded by holograms showing the movement of fleets across the galaxy. The situation looked grim, with Zorn forces pushing deeper into Confederation territory. "We need a game-changer," Governor Reyes said, her voice heavy with the weight of command. "Something the Zorn won't expect." Ilara's mind raced, piecing together fragments of information, ancient alien ruins, quantum entanglement theories, the unique properties of the human mind. An idea began to form, wild and dangerous, but potentially revolutionary. "I think I might have something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But it's going to require resources we don't have, and it might just alter the fabric of space-time itself." As all eyes turned to her, Ilara began to outline her plan. It was audacious, borderline insane, but in a war for survival, the impossible became necessary. Little did they know that their actions would set in motion events that would reshape the galaxy in ways no one could have predicted. The trials of humanity had only just begun, and the crucible of war would either forge them into a force to be reckoned with or break them entirely. As the first waves of Zorn ships appeared on the long-range sensors, Ilara felt a mix of fear and determination. The next phase of the conflict was about to begin, and with it, the true test of humanity's place among the stars.